A year ago, I made an alignment chart for all of the top Fox players to determine whether they play aggressive or defensive or flow. What is it? What's the flow chart or freestyle? And I did it before I was actually uploading on YouTube, so it doesn't really matter that much because it's just gone because YouTube is forever. And today we are going to do the same thing, but instead of only Fox players, we're just going to do top players, regardless of their main. And regardless of if I even know enough about their main to accurately make the list. Let us get into it, boys. There's two different parts of Melee, too. Because there's, like, punish and neutral, obviously. And some people are very flowchart in neutral, but their punish game is, like, crazy. Pick extremes first, like Bobby. Well, I think Bobby's going to be, like, somewhere up here, right? Okay, let's put Bobby. I'm just going to slop him down. I don't know why I keep saying slop. I'm just going to put him down somewhere. That's the first person we're putting on here. The thing is Bobby just does play kind of defensive a lot of the time. Like, in a lot of his sets, he'll do, like, a bunch of double jump down into the top platform. Or, like, rolls and a lot of stuff like that. But he's very freestyle. He's, like, so freestyle. I think let's just put Mang. We just need to put people. So let's just put Mango, because Mango's going to be somewhere around here, right? There are players who are more aggressive, and there's probably people who are more freestyle. But he's, like, I'll put him, like, here. Fiction is like up here, I think, because he's flowchart, because he has like the videos on like lasers and shit. He like really tries to solve the game, and he's also very defensive. But you could do the Falcons, boys. Like I think like none is freestyle. I think he's like a bit more defensive than some people acknowledge, but he's still more on the aggro side by quite a bit. I also think None might be more freestyle than Mang, because None sometimes does like crazy fucking shit. None is still on the aggro side, but I have played sets for him where I get like dash back grabbed and shit a lot, which is like fine, it's how it works. But I don't think he's like balls to the wall aggro. I think he's very freestyle and he's very good at scraps, but a lot of the time he does do a bunch of defensive shit. I think Wizzy is like so flowchart and defensive. And then Johnny, I think that Johnny might low-key from playing him be the most aggressive Falcon, but I think None is more freestyle. Johnny is my absolute favorite person to play. It just feels like we're always interacting. We're always like doing crazy shit. It's like, it's just, stuff is always happening. Not that like being aggressive is more interactive, but like you guys know what I mean. It's like we kind of just run at each other and then we just scrap. And that's kind of my entire game with Johnny, it feels like a lot of the time. What color? Let's do fucking black for Leffen. We'll have really depressing piano music too. Honestly, so I think he's a little bit more freestyle than people give him credit for, but it's very, very close because sometimes he just goes ham and it's like, what the hell, you thought to do that? I would put him a little bit to the right, like the tiniest bit, like right here. Leffen's very hard though, because I think the way that he'll play against like a floaty is so different than how he'll play against like a Fox and so on and so forth. Because sometimes when he plays like some characters, he just goes ham. I think he's like slightly more defensive. I'll put him here, like right in the corner, just hugging that corner. I think Swift, I think your flowchart, but it's like a new flowchart. You do a bunch of stuff that's like very new, but you labbed it out and you figured it out. Where would Axe be? I think Axe is like pretty freestyle aggro, less freestyle than None and probably Mang. I think Axe here is fine. I can't really front. He nares a lot at people. Now for Cody, I'm going to pick the ugliest color imaginable because he wouldn't be able to see it anyway. I'll save the cool colors for those who can see them. Honestly, I think Cody is more aggressive than people give credit for. I think Cody is like pretty flowcharty, not necessarily like I think Cody being like here is fine. Plup is a weird one. I have mostly played his Fox. Plup's Fox, I think legitimately might be the most aggro Fox, but to a fault. Because when I play Plup, he just like runs in and then I like drill him or grab him and then I kill him. His Sheik is obviously less aggro than his Fox, but it's still aggro. He might be the most aggro player because sometimes he just runs in. Oh yeah, no, H-Box, I'm just kind of throwing shots in the dark. Like I am blindfolded trying to hit, you know, bullseye. Like I have no idea how to like accurately describe him. He's probably, well, he's on the defensive side, I think. I could see putting H-Box like somewhere here. So I don't think he can be center because he definitely does have games where it's like super campy, and that could just be because it's Puff, but he does have those games where he's campy, so he does have to be a bit more on the defensive side. I think the thing is when he's playing good and he's playing H-Box, he is more defensive. I think Zain is somewhere in the top left, but not super insane. I think Zain is like maybe like here. I don't know if Alms is aggro. He has to be a bit defensive, probably, right? Because it's Yoshi. Like I think Amsa has to be probably somewhere over here. Maybe he's just in this little quadrant. Because sometimes he does crazy shit. Yeah, Yoshi, you have to like counter hit and shit. I think that's fine. Like, it's not super accurate. I think that's okay. Now, I know that this is probably not going to go well, but I don't want to rank myself, and I have faith in you guys to work together. Chat, we're placing myself left or right. Do we call it there 77%? So that's like, let's say like around here. Does that sound good? Like right around here? Sure. Now, top or bottom? Up or down? Okay, what is this? It is 69% down. I think that's fine. Good job, chat. Give yourself a round of applause. Magi? I think Magi is like in here. I think Magi might be a bit less freestyle than like some people. I could put Magi like here maybe. Kadoran is super flowchart and pretty defensive. Because that's Kadoran's whole deal, right? Kadoran's whole deal is like the studier. And he plays like kind of slow, but he knows what he's doing and it's all kind of thought out. But I think he's definitely like super flowcharty. Maybe not as much as Wizzy, but he still is very... I think Kadoran being like maybe like here is great. Ginger is very flowcharty, but people act like he's more defensive than he is. Sometimes he just goes the hell in. So I think he's like pretty on the line, but he's like... He is pretty flowchart. Like, he's probably close to, like, Zuppy-ish. I like Ginger being here. Yeah, he's, like, leaning aggro. I don't think he's as defensive as some people make him out to be. I think, like, I've played him sometimes, and he's just like, oh, my God, I'm getting kind of run over. Like, the first time I ever traveled, I went to the big house, and I money matched Ginger, and he was just, like, quintuple shiny my shield. And he was just, like, all he would do is, like, chase me down, quintuple shine my shield. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? Oh, Slug? I think Slug is pretty freestyle. He's not, like, super aggro because he's ices. He can't be. He's pretty freestyle, but not like as insane freestyle because it's, again, ices. Of the ices, he's probably a bit less flowcharty though. And he'll like make some like crazy fucking plays and stuff sometimes that are just like, why did you even think to go for that? Honestly, I think Slug might be top right, just barely. He might be in here with Leffen. Two Saint's someone who's in top right. We could fill that out because I do think Two Saint is in there. No, Two is not in the bottom right. I have sessions sometimes against Two where he's like floating at the top of FD and I can't, like, way out of range where I can even hit him. I think he's willing to play really far away sometimes. And I don't think he's like super high, but I do think he's in this quadrant. Kalindi is like super flowchart, pretty defensive. And again, that's not even to say that Kalindi isn't, like, because I know someone said that it's like a cool player versus lame player list. That's not to say that Kalindi is a lame player. Kalindi does so much fucking crazy shit. He is like the dude who starts so much stuff as Spaceys. Kobo might legitimately be like the most freestyle. I feel like he has to be the most freestyle because he's just, Colin's fucking crazy. I think Aklo's probably somewhere in here. Sometimes more defensive, sometimes more aggro. Yeah, I could put Aklo a little bit further up because sometimes he does like timeout and shit. Oh, Sunsei. I think Sunsei is flowchart aggro. Me and Sunsei do a bunch of similar shit, but the difference is that he labs it all out in Uncle Punch and stuff, and I just am in a match, and I'm like, yeah, that might work. Hax is super defensive nowadays. He'll, like, just dash dance in the same spot, and you get close to him, and he shines out a shield, and he, like, quintuple shines out a shield. I'll put Hax, like, here. I think this is where Hax would be. I like this list. Chat, what do you guys think? I like it. I'll see you in the comments, bud. I'll be there waiting for you, Jaden Smith Eyes. You better watch out. You're the one who should watch out, buddy. Okay? You better watch out. I'll be there.